Okay, this is math lesson 32, comparing lengths, part 1, and we're in our book with the numbers. And we are going to go to page 213. We're not going to do page 212, so don't worry about that one. We're going to start on page 213. Okay, and we go up to the directions. It says draw a line that is shorter than the first pencil. So this is the first pencil. It says draw a line that is shorter, so shorter than the pencil. So remember again, once again, we're going to start here at the edge so the pencils are lined up. Otherwise, we won't know which is shorter. And if we want to do it shorter, if you want to draw just a line, that's fine. If you want to draw the pencil, that's fine. So go ahead and draw the pencil. Okay, this one is shorter than the first pencil. Then it says draw a line that is longer than the second pencil. Well, here's your second pencil, and you want to draw one that is longer. So if I draw one that is longer, and remember, once again, we always start over here at the edge so that it matches up. Okay, so we have one that is shorter than the first one, one that is longer than the second one. Okay, go ahead and turn the page. And here it says, which table is longer? Okay, so now, the way they're going to do it, they're going to use a piece of string and compare it to the length of the table. So they have this table here, they put the string on this table, and what happened? Did it come to the end? No, so this string is shorter than the table. Look at this one over here. What happened there? It was longer than the table. So that means that this table is shorter than this table. By using this string, I can do that. Now, if I use some objects I have here, I've got this one and this one. And I want to compare which is longer. I have my string. I'm going to use the string right here. If I put it here, what do I see? The string is longer. If I put it against this object, and I always start at the end, match it up down the end, is the string as long as the object? No. So this is longer than the string. Here, the string was longer than the object, so we know that this one is shorter than this one. We could also see that by looking at it, because those were so evident. Whereas in the picture, you had to maybe measure. You don't always know, so sometimes you have to actually measure the thing. So if you take like a string and you use the string against both objects, you can tell which one is shorter or which one is longer than the other. Okay, so down here at the bottom, I am going to write my answers, what I found out. So the gray table is longer than the string. So the brown table is what than the string? The brown table is not as long, so it is shorter. There's our OR sound. And there's our ER sound. Or and or and or and So the brown table is shorter than the string. So the gray table is blank than the brown table. So that makes the gray table being longer than the brown table. And remember, once again, we were comparing the length of the table. We were going this way across from the edge of the paper to the edge paper. So we were going horizontal. Okay, if we look at the next page, we see which object is shorter. Is the shoe shorter or the spoon? Okay, we've got a problem here. The shoe is going this way, right? And the spoon's going this way. This is going horizontal, this is going vertical. So it makes it a little harder to see which one is shorter, because when we're talking about shorter, we're talking about this way. We would need the spoon to be laying down beside of the shoe. Well, let's look here. Compare each object to the paper. So instead of a string, we're going to take a piece of paper and we're going to write which is shorter or longer. So this is the same piece of paper that's over here. So we're going to be writing either shorter or longer. So is the shoe shorter or longer than the paper? Well, it doesn't quite come to the end of the paper, does it? So it is shorter. Once again, as we write the word, the sh sound, the or sound, and the sound. Okay, now here we're talking about, here we would say shorter or longer. Now if this was laying down straight, we would be horizontal. So we're talking about shorter or longer. So we are taking the same piece of paper, we're putting it up here, and what do we find out about the spoon? Well, the paper doesn't come to the end of the spoon, does it? So the spoon is longer. Okay, so then that means that the shoe is what to the spoon? Well, if the shoe was shorter than the paper and the spoon was longer than the paper, that means the shoe is shorter than the spoon. Okay, then, do you agree, why or why not? Chris is shorter than Amy. Okay, I like to draw pictures to figure this out. So, Chris is shorter than Amy. So here's going to be Chris. And he's shorter than Amy. So this is going to be Amy. So this is Chris. I'm going to put a C for Chris, A for Amy. Then Ray is taller than Amy. Well, here's Amy. Now I need to have this all on the same line here. So Ray is taller than Amy. So this is going to be Ray. So Boom says Chris is taller than Ray. So here's Chris. Is Chris taller than Ray? No. So do you agree? No. Why or why not? Because Ray is taller. Here we have that word with the A-L-L in it, tall, and the taller than Chris, and Chris, capital uppercase letter because it's the first word, the first letter in a person's name, and a period at the end. Okay? Okay, go ahead and turn the page. Get it turned. Okay, it says the red snake is longer than the blue snake. The blue snake is longer than the yellow snake. So then I know that the red snake is the longest snake. Okay? So it says, draw a line that is shorter than the triangle. So here's the triangle because it has 3 sides and 3 vertices. I'm going to draw a line that is shorter. Now I want all these down here at the bottom to match up. Oops. Match up. So, is this line shorter than the triangle? Yes. So circle the tallest object. Well, if that one was shorter, and I can see here that's shorter, so this is the tallest object. Okay, the crayon is shorter. Okay, we don't have a picture here, so I'm going to draw a picture. The crayon is shorter than the pencil. So I'm going to use this edge over here as my edge for my pencil. So the crayon is shorter. So this is my pencil. This is going to be my crayon. I'm just going to put a point there and the paper on my crayon, and this is a crayon. And the pencil is shorter than the notebook. So here's the pencil. So now I need the notebook. Well, if the pencil is shorter, then my notebook has to come out. And I'm just going to draw my notebook as if it's a rectangle. So here's my notebook. So the crayon is blank than the notebook. Well, the crayon is going to be shorter than the notebook. Once again, the sh sound, or sound, the t, and the sound, er. Okay? And then one more page here in this book. We're just going to do all this lesson together because these are fairly easy. Compare links, then circle the correct words. Okay, we have an eraser and a highlighter. So the eraser is what, then the highlighter. Okay, if you have trouble knowing, then take a piece of paper or something and use it to measure. So if I take a piece of paper here, and I'm going to put where it comes to, if I can get my hand working right. Okay, that is how long the eraser is. If I come over here on the highlighter, I go to the end, because we always have to start at the end. I come and I find out the highlighter is longer. So the eraser is longer than or shorter than the highlighter? Well, it's shorter than. Okay, it says draw a line that is taller than the star. Well, here's the star. We're going to start, you can almost see now that doesn't really come at the edge there. But anyway, I could come at there and go and make it taller than the star. And that's definitely taller. Which of the three pictures is the tallest? Well, here you can tell the star is already taller than the rectangle. And if I make that taller, then that's going to be the tallest one. And it says circle it. Okay, the bee is longer. So we're talking about going horizontally. The bee is longer than the ant. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a circle for my bee. I'm going to start here. Let's start over here. This is going to be my bee. This is going to be my ant. Let's see, the bee is longer than the ant. I'm making my ant too big. So my ant's going to be like this. And the worm is longer than the bee. So I'm going to make my worm longer than my bee. Okay, notice all of these are at the same edge. So the worm is longer than the bee. So the ant is what than the worm? Well, the ant is shorter than the worm. Again, SH, the R for the or, the T, and the ER, shorter. Okay, and I think that's all of our lesson in our book with the numbers. So we will go to the book with the animals on it, and the parent page is on page, get my numbers going right here, page 297. This is the parent page explaining a little bit about what we're doing and some activities to do. Okay, on page 299, it says, which desk is longer? Use a piece of string, compare it to the length of each desk. Okay, we took the string, we put it on the blue desk, and what happened? It hung over the edge, so that means that the desk is shorter than the string. We put the string on the gray desk, it did not come to the end, so that means it is shorter than the gray desk. So the blue desk is shorter than the string, the gray desk is longer than the string, so that means that the gray desk is longer than the blue desk. Okay, it says compare each bench to the same piece of string, which bench is longer? Okay, here we have the blue bench. The string doesn't come to the end, so the blue bench is longer. Here we have the gray bench. The string comes over the end, so the gray bench is shorter. So the blue bench is blank than the string. The blue bench is longer than the string. Here we have our O sound in long. No, we don't. We have our O sound in long. We have the O-N-G, longer. We have the ER for The gray bench is what than the string? The gray bench is shorter than the string because the string is hanging over the side. Then the blue bench is blank than the gray bench. So that would mean that the blue bench is longer than the gray bench. Because if the blue bench is longer than the string, short bench is shorter than the string, and that would make the blue bench longer than the gray bench. Okay, turn the page. Okay, which bookshelf is shorter? Okay, the blue shelf is blank than the string. Well, the string's hanging over. That means it's shorter than the string. It's again writing the word shorter. You should have that memorized by the time we get through here, how to spell shorter. Then the gray shelf is blank than the string. So the gray shelf is longer. So the blue shelf is what than the gray shelf? Well, if it is shorter than the string, this is longer. So the blue shelf is shorter than the gray shelf. Okay, at the bottom. Boom measured the two dressers with the same piece of string. Buzz says that the gray dresser is longer. Well, the gray dresser is longer than the string, and the blue dresser is, or the gray shelf dresser is shorter than the string. The blue one is longer. So can the gray dresser be the longest? No. Boom says the blue dresser is longer, and yes, because it is longer than the string. So who is right? Well, Boom is right. Okay, and then on the next page, which object is longer? The shoe or the fork? So compare the object, write to the paper, and write which one is longer or shorter. Here we see that the shoe is longer than the piece of paper, and the fork is shorter than the piece of paper. So that means the shoe is going to be longer than the fork, because the fork is shorter than the paper. Okay, which object is longer? Compare each object to the paper, write shorter or longer. Okay, the toy car is blank than the spoon. Well, if the spoon is shorter than the paper, and the car is a little bit longer than the paper, that means that the toy car is longer than the spoon. Okay, then turn the page. Okay, compare each object to the paper, fill in the blank. Okay, look here, the flower is shorter than the paper, the boat is longer than the paper. So the flower is what to the boat? If the flower is shorter than the paper, the boat is longer, the flower is shorter than the boat. The toy boat is blank than the flower. Well, it is longer. I just switched the sentence around, so we use a different word here. Okay, Carla is taller than Steve. So I'm going to draw Carla. That's Carla, and she is taller than Steve, so I'm going to have to make Steve a little bit shorter. I'm going to have to put them all at the same line here. So this is Steve, and Yuki is shorter than Steve, so Yuki has to be shorter than Steve here. This is Yuki. Okay, remember when you do these kind of drawings, always put in a line so you can tell where they started, so you can make an accurate statement about it. Boom says Carla is shorter than Yuki. Is Carla shorter than Yuki? No. Buzz says Yuki is shorter than Carla. Is that right? Yes. So Buzz is right because Yuki is shorter than Carla, so we circle Buzz. Okay? It says look at problem 3. Write the names in order from the shortest to the tallest. Well, the shortest is Yuki. Then next would be Steve. Commas between them, and then would be Carla. Carla was the tallest. And it said right from the shortest to the tallest. So Yuki, Steve, Carla, Yuki, Steve, Carla. Okay? Okay, and then the next page says the white ribbon is shorter than the gray ribbon. And it is. The gray ribbon is shorter than the blue ribbon. So the white ribbon is the shortest. Compare the lengths, then fill in the blank. Which one is the longest dog? Well, we can see here, short, the shortest, next, and the longest. So the longest dog is the white dog. The next one, draw a line that is shorter than the pencil. So a line that is shorter than the pencil. This is the pencil, this is a crayon, so a line that is shorter than the pencil. And remember, I'm always starting at the same point. Circle the longest object, and which is the longest? Well, the crayon is the longest. Okay, and turn the page. Okay, draw a line that is taller than the rectangle. Here's the rectangle, a line that is taller. And remember, I have to start at the same point down here. Which circle the shortest shape. So the shortest would be the triangle. Okay, draw a line that is shorter than the square. So here's my line, the bottom, and the line that is shorter than the square. Here's my square, this is shorter. Circle the tallest shape. Okay, the worm is longer, the blue worm is longer than the white worm. So this is going to be, let's see, where can I draw? I'm going to come up here and draw it because I don't have room down there. Here's my blue worm, and this is going to be the line I'm starting from. I'm going to put a B on here. This is my blue worm. The white worm is longer than the gray worm. So I've got a white worm and a gray worm. And the white, I'm going to draw my gray worm first. Here's my gray worm. And the white worm is longer. Okay. I made a mistake here. Okay, the blue worm is longer than the white worm. So here's the blue worm, this is longer than the white worm. And then the white worm is longer than the gray worm. Okay, I was getting confused there. And here's my gray worm. Okay, so the blue worm is what than the gray worm? The blue worm is longer than the gray worm. You can see I've done too many videos. Okay, then the red crayon is shorter than the green crayon. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do it from the bottom of the paper. Here's my red crayon. It is shorter than the, and this is the red one. It's shorter than the green, so green is going to come up here. I put G for green. And the red crayon is, okay, the green crayon, skipping a step, the green crayon is shorter than the blue crayon, so the blue crayon is going to have to be taller than that. This is the blue. So the red crayon is blank than the blue crayon. Well, we can see it is shorter. Okay, and then that finishes up lesson 32.